Hello, hello. Can you hear me well? Very good. I have the honor to close this session with an incredible panel discussion, and I'm so happy that all of you have stayed tied for this session. Please welcome actor and activist Madison Tevlin, Major Inc. founder Aloe Black, and Human Rights Campaign President Kelley Robinson. Hello, hello. I am so excited about this panel because of everything that we have heard today and the importance of storytelling and the way that they can shape opinions, policy, everything in our lives. I remember very well that growing up as a queer boy in Puerto Rico, there were no people like me being represented in any aspects of their lives. It was all about making fun of people like me. And I had to leave Puerto Rico in order to find a different narrative and finding a different way. And that is why it's so important, the work that these incredible activists are doing. I'm going to start with Kelley. Kelley, we have been running into each other, running around, doing a lot of noise and good trouble. And I promised you that we were going to have a sit down, we were going to chat, and here we are with a couple of hundred people. So this is our opportunity. So Kelley, your work at the Human Rights Campaign, you work to mobilize, educate, advance LGBTQ issues and rights. How has the media and storytelling advanced the movement, especially in humanizing and creating awareness for the community, for our communities?
Yeah, well, I have to say, this work is personal. You know, I grew up Black and queer on the south side of Chicago. There's usually a Chicagoan that goes, woo, then. Okay, there you are. My wife is a first-generation daughter of Indian immigrants. We're married. We just bought our first house. We've got a 3-year-old son. Our lives would not be possible right now if it weren't for the power of storytelling, of declaring our humanity, of fighting for rights and laws in every space, from workplaces to schools to government, to make sure that we could be who we are. The Human Rights Campaign has been around for 40 years, advocating on behalf of the LGBTQ+ community. And let's be clear, 40 years ago, if you were out at work, you could be fired on the spot. But now there are more out and allied leaders than ever before. That's because of our storytelling. 40 years ago, if you had HIV, it was a death sentence. But now we're within arm's reach of ending the epidemic in our lifetime, in this generation, because of the power of stories. So this is one of those moments where I think we are experiencing a backlash, but it's important for us to lean in, to tell our stories, and also declare that we are here, we are queer, and we aren't going anywhere.
You're so right.
Exactly, exactly. And a follow-up for you, Kelley, is like, how do you see the recent attacks on LGBTQ rights, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion reflected in the culture globally? How is that, why is it important to not diminish the value of diverse stories and continue to invest and distribute them?
You know, the story of America is that progress has always been met with backlash. And Madison and I were talking backstage about the theme of this conference being what's working, right?
Yeah.
And storytelling is what's working. I mean, if you look back 25 years ago, 60% of the United States, people in the United States opposed same-sex marriage. But now, 70% of Americans support same-sex marriage. And not only that, the Respect for Marriage Act is the law of the land. That happened because people committed to the work. And I loved that Shonda Rhimes and Darren Walker were up here talking about storytelling earlier and the power of what it looks like in media. I also have to give credit to companies and corporations. I mean, seeing that progress happen because Subaru started featuring lesbians when they were selling their cars, right? Because Absolute started to market to us. And right now, I think we're at such a pivotal moment where when you look at the future, 30% of Generation Z identify as a member of the LGBTQ+ community. We have $1.4 trillion of buying power in the United States alone. Supporting our community, advocating for equity and inclusion, it's not just the right thing to do, it's the best thing to do for your business. So look, I say this often, I would love people to love me and my family for who we are, but if you don't love me, you better at least respect me. And that's what this moment is about.
Amen, amen. We are seeing in the past 10 years an incredible new wave of representation in the media. And every time I see a commercial and I see a glance of like 2 seconds in that cruise ship commercial and I see the biracial gay couple that are in the cruise, I say like, oh, I see them. But more and more we see the stories and the activists and the actors, and one of them is, of course, the incredible Madison. Welcome, Madison.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You are a big star on movies and television, and you have been talking to big executives and also school kids. Most recently, you participated in New York Fashion Week on the Runway of Dreams, showcasing inclusive fashion, as well as starred in the award-winning I Assumed That I Can.
So maybe I will.
Yes. Have everybody seen here the campaign? It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So Madison, how do you see your work and advocacy expand representation for people with Down syndrome while also inspiring others to think and feel differently?
Well, the reaction to the campaign was so overwhelming. It's a reminder that representation is super important. We need more opportunities for disabled people to believe in ourselves, be comfortable in our own skin, and we all celebrate our differences and our voices to come alive. The campaign helped to change so many other people's perspectives about my community and stand up for what I believe in, especially people who don't know anyone with Down syndrome. Made people feel differently about how we view the community and themselves. It's all about building our confidence in ourselves.
Incredible. And by the way, I was talking to Madison before. She's an amazing actor, but also she can land a good joke on the screen.
Oh, I really can. And that's what I do best.
Yes. Alo, you are an incredible Grammy-nominated musician with multiple global hits. I love your bio on your website. You start by saying that you grew up dancing or listening to salsa, merengue, and cumbia. I said, like, that was like my household. So we see each other. You constantly utilize your platform and talents to support many issues, such as suicide prevention, social justice, ending malaria, and the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative. How do movements and social issues inspire your music? And what is the impact you have created and hope to create through mobilizing other artists and audiences to take action?
Wow, social movements and activism really inspires the stories that I tell. It's the way that I've committed to showing up as an artist with the platform that I have. I've been a mentee of many activists. One in particular is the late, great Harry Belafonte, who used his voice to impact society positively. And what I learned from him was to take advantage of these stories, take advantage of the stories from the activists, from the philanthropists, from the folks that are being serviced by nonprofit organizations. Transform those stories into song and distribute those to the people with your platform. So I've had the opportunity to work with the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity to translate what they do in terms of awarding their laureates and seeing the amazing work that these people do. And make a song called Shine that I release and then I sing to amplify the work of the Aurora Prize. Or earlier on the stage was Artist Stevens from the Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, translating the story of mentorship and relationships and writing a song that I can use to amplify their work. And so I've gone in and met with multiple organizations, and I'm continuing to do this work, but I hope that what I can do is inspire in the way that Harry Belafonte inspired me, to inspire other artists to join in this practice, because we don't need an entire album of songs about my breakups and my heartache.
Well,
what I think would be really helpful is to, offer for my peers at least one song in their catalog of songs per year that is in honor, in service of humanity, in service of community, in service of the organizations that they recognize are doing amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The theme of this conference is what's working. So it's very easy. I was thinking before how easy it is to tell a story with bad facts and how easy it is to tell, how difficult it is to tell a story with good facts. But we don't want to be carrying around the negativity. And as Secretary Clinton said, like, we want to know what's working. And my question for any one of you is, you know, has there been a story or art form that has impacted you or the issues you have cared about? Madison.
So recently I was part of Runway of Dreams on New York Fashion Week. And I felt so empowered by seeing a lot of people with different disabilities. And I always say it's so much fun proving people wrong.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know. And it was a full circle moment for me because I was inspired by them, but also they were inspired by me and were role models that everyone was looking up to. And it felt so good being in that room with them. And always a reminder that we should all embrace all of our differences.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just check out the videos. The runway is fabulous with Madison and so many other models. It was really incredible. Thank you for doing that. Anything on, for example, Alo, that you would like to talk about, other ways, other means in which you feel inspired or that you feel that you can tell the stories?
I think it's really important to just be a vessel, be open to what the stories are that are coming to you and that you see in society. You know, I was lucky enough to work with the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity and to meet Dr. Mukwege, who is the 2024 recipient of the Aurora Prize. And the work that he's doing in Congo to repair hearts, to repair women, to heal the community that is ravaged by war it's incredible. And the amount of years that he's been spending dedicating his life to healing these people who have been part of such a terrible fabric of war, that it really does inspire me to want to do more. And I feel like by writing a song like Shine, it helps to amplify not only his work, but the work of so many amazing humanitarians around the world. And that's, I think, how, as an artist, we can all show up, you know, is to find those stories, use those stories as fuel, and deliver them so that other people can be humbled by them, but also inspired to act.
Absolutely, and we need more of that. We were talking about the importance of the power of music and the power of entertainment and the power of these stories to change the world. We want more artists like you to be thinking like you. I know that we're running out of time, so I'm going to ask the final questions for the panel, and is what do you want people to live with in terms of how they can support and educate themselves through storytelling and the arts? What do you imagine as the future of inclusive storytelling?
To cast us in the roles like TV shows and movies and commercials. We should all have the same opportunities as anybody else here, not just if you have a disability or don't have a disability. I imagine a future where people are cast for opportunities because they are the best for that role, not because they have a disability. Cast me because I'm Madison Tevlin, not because I'm Madison Tevlin as a person with Down syndrome.
Because you're talented and you're fabulous. Thank you so much. Kelley.
You know, I think for me right now, the power of storytelling renews our hope and belief in what could be possible. You know, like for me, growing up as a Black queer kid, there are some things I never thought I could manifest in my life. I don't know what it's like to live without the weight of racism on my shoulders, the weight of sexism and homophobia. But stories allow me to believe something could be that I haven't seen, felt, or experienced before. And right now, when we're experiencing such a backlash on the progress that we've made, right now when there are horrific bills, particularly attacking our trans community, being passed all across this country, right now when the rhetoric from some of the most powerful voices in the land are targeting and attacking our youth, we have got to believe that something better and more powerful could be possible if we work together. And stories give us that ability to unify across differences and across space to make it so. You know, lately, I've gotten to see the power of storytelling firsthand when I travel across the country. I saw a trans kid and the look in their eyes when they saw themselves represented on TV for the very first time. I saw a lesbian couple say "I do" in front of their community and what that meant not only for them but for everyone else that was watching. The power of storytelling gives us the ability to transform our worlds and our lives in ways that we could never imagine be possible, but it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Alan.
I would just encourage for everyone to find within their community the organization that speaks to their heart and find those stories and try to amplify those stories. Really the work that the folks on the front ground and in the front lines do in nonprofit organizations within their communities is the real heroic work. As a storyteller, I feel like I've got the easiest lift. And so if you could join me in being part of that storytelling and encouraging the others in your community to be part of that storytelling, that would be amazing help to amplify the voices of the LGBTQ community, to amplify the voices of the disabled community, and all the other marginalized communities.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to close by just sharing a personal story. When I became involved with the Clinton Global Initiative was just right after Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico. And right at that moment, we found that when local government collapsed and the federal government had a criminal response to the 3.4 million American citizens that happened to live in the island of Puerto Rico, it was our job to really tell the story of what happened there. And we had the most powerful office in the world, the White House, trying to neutralize and deny the thing that happened in Puerto Rico. So the power of storytelling also is to make sure that people don't forget and that we can mobilize. And if artists like Bad Bunny can take the 7-year mark of Hurricane Maria devastating Puerto Rico to make a song for people not to forget what happened there, it is really important, the power of artists, the storytellers, and for us to continue forging a better future. Thank you to my panelists. Thank you for everybody for staying with us, and have a good night. Thank you.